Hello tubes. This is a free lawnmower, trash picked. An acquaintance of mine sent me a text message about 4 hours ago. I just now read it, and he gave me the address of a place that had a lawnmower sitting outside. In that area it is trash day. It was kind of hard to see. It was already folded up like this, and it was in these pieces. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this going. And it rained heavily here, so there's probably going to be water in places there's not going to be. This is a really old Tecumseh where the piston is a piston. No, it's just weird. This carburetor setup is not one that I've dealt with that much, but I'll give this a try. So I look forward to more videos on this. Looking more back at this one. Put the handlebars together so I could get a better look at this. Searched around through the deck and I found 3 bolts. Obviously they're for something. One of them is probably for this dipstick, which was just sitting there. It just attaches to the cooling shroud. And got a gas tank here for 3 bolts, of which I don't think any one of those are for it. The shroud takes 4 bolts, I know. So obviously I'm missing bolts. That's okay, I've got some up there. And my gosh, this thing. And for those of you who are interested, this is what it is. There's your model number. It's a date. Oh man. Is that 71st day of 1984? Well, I'll have to go check on that. This A2. I put it together with what little bolts it had. Basically, I've only got 1 bolt up here, 1 in the back, and 1 holding the oil dipstick. And so essentially, it's missing 1 bolt for the back, 1 bolt for the front, and all 3 of these will hold the gas tank on. So it is not seized, and I don't know if it has spark. I'll go see if it has spark and go from there. We got spark, so I'll look at this later. I'll get my camera, my tripod set up, but we have spark. Hello tubes. This is that free lawnmower I got off the side of the road that a acquaintance of mine told me about. And I've put it together with out of the parts that I had. And it's still missing some bolts. I found another bolt, but I'm still gonna need at least 2 bolts for the shroud. This was on the side of the road. This is a 20-inch Craftsman 4.5 horsepower with the Tecumseh Eager-1 engine. I suspect this was a 1997 model. Based off of markings on here. It's model number 917.387131 for those who want to know. 917 prefix indicates this was made by Husqvarna, or AYP. So I'm gonna get into it. All I've done so far is, this was in pieces when I got it, and I put it back enough. Now, last night I did shoot some carburetor cleaner in the spark plug hole. Tried to pull it just to see what would happen. And it tried to pull the cord right out of my hand. And it did pop a couple times, and there was spark on it. So the fact that it tried to pull the cord out of my hand, tells me there's probably a broken flywheel key in this. So let's get started. Hello, tubes. I've just gotten the gas tank off. These Tecumseh ones just slide off. It is missing one of there's 3 bolts that hold this one on top. Now, I'm gonna take off the shroud now. It is missing a bolt in the front and a bolt in the back. I think I have some from a scrap mower. Yeah, you got the cover off. It's supposed to be 2 3/8 bolts here, 2 in the back. It only had 2, so I'm gonna go find some other ones. And then we're gonna to get to the flywheel key, or at least inspect it, you gotta take the starter cup off. And to do that, this one's all rusty. I'm gonna have to get my breaker bar in a 3/4 inch socket. Here's what the air filter looks like. And the inside doesn't look so bad, but this was left out in the rain, so it might be reusable after it dries out. Take the flywheel off. I've sprayed some penetrating oil here. I'm gonna put this underneath to block the blade, and I need to clamp off the dead man switch, also known as a blade brake. You put this underneath to block the blade. Now that I've got that block under there, let's try to get this to come off. At least to inspect the key. See, it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. There we go, it came off. That penetrating oil probably helped as well. Let me see here. Huh. Can't tell. You know, it might have a slight shear in it, or a partial shear. I'll just go pop it off. Hammer time. The way I take my flywheels off is the Toro way, also known as the redneck way. This isn't necessarily the proper way of doing this, but it works. At least on Briggs it works. And the Tecumsehs, you gotta be more careful. The flywheel is actually made of a thinner metal, I think. It's not as strong. So, stick a crowbar, find a place underneath the flywheel where you're not gonna hurt anything, and you gently tap the shaft. And you put the bolt back on it. They make a knockoff tool that just screws onto this that does the same thing. And make sure your bolt's a little higher in the shaft so you're not banging exactly on the shaft. And this should pop it off, hopefully. You can just kind of just lean down. Oh, this was tough. Yeah, just got it to come off. I didn't know. Didn't want it to, see there. Come loose now. Oh yeah. Let me, this is really sheared. Let me bring the camera over. And a pointing instrument. Okay. Right here, it was like this. Keyway's here. I mean, the flywheel key is here. Where when I took the flywheel off, straight up, look where the keyway is, over here. So it's, I diagnosed this yesterday when the thing tried to pull a cord out of my hand. It was correct. Time to put a new flywheel key in. I believe I have a couple for this. Okay, just going to show you here. This is what's left of the flywheel key. Here in my hand. This thing was off about a quarter turn. So this is what's left of it. It's really hard to do that. I have a couple flywheel keys. This is one of the part numbers here. This might be one that fits it. It may not. We'll see. This is what a new one looks like. New flywheel key. The Tecumseh ones are shaped differently than the Briggs, obviously, and they're like this. This may be what what fits it. It's most Tecumsehs use this. This is really the first broken flywheel key on a Tecumseh I've seen. Most Briggs seem to break easier, or I find them more. Now to put it in, we're gonna put this bottom part here on the bottom and put it in, and then the flywheel has a groove that fits in here. Let me get the flywheel. This flywheel has a groove, you see right. We see as a groove right here that lines up with something on the crankshaft. It controls this magnet when it comes by the coil, which sets the timing. This concept works for pretty much every engine, including your car. Got the new keyway in place. Key in place, you see right there. I snapped it in. The fatter part goes at the bottom. You just snap it in, and we put the flywheel over on top of it, and then put everything back together. Before I'm going to put the flywheel back on, while I got it off, these are the magnets right here. They're all rusted. So just out of good practice, I'm going to go ahead and sand them down to get rid of all this rust on here and on the coil here. Sometimes on Tecumsehs and some Briggs, in order to get the flywheel back on, you have to take the coil off and then regap the coil. So I believe it's just, there's a star bit here, or I think you can use a 1/4 inch. Got the coil off, a couple 1/4 inch bolts, and let's stick this back on. You align the key with this keyway here. Hopefully it's not deformed. Something I just noticed, the reason why I couldn't get the flywheel on. Well, part of the old key is stuck here, I think. Still. Either that or they really boogered up this flywheel. My remote died for my camera. So what had happened here is inside the flywheel, where the key got moved over, it boogered up some of the flywheel itself, so making it harder to put it on. And you can see, right here, there's like a little burr that I gotta take this file and try to file it off. Well, I did my best with a rat tail file to get it, you know, still a little bit there, but we'll see if it fits now. wide angle shot. Let's see. Okay, now I've got the flywheel back on. Hopefully it's down far enough. I think it is. Now we're going to recap the coil. You take a business card, this is what I use. There is a measurement, it's approximately the thickness of a business card. And stick it there like that. This is the magnet for the flywheel. Stick the coil on, line it up over the holes, and okay, now it's properly gapped. Ironically, this is a business card for a lawn care service for when we first moved to the house, and I didn't own a lawnmower. Okay, now I'm going to just find some bolts for the shroud, and then I'm going to put it back together and see if it'll start. There's imminent carburetor problems with all Tecumsehs, so I can't assume that. Actually, I should probably, while I've got the cover off, go ahead and take the carburetor off. One of the first things I do is I always clean off the top of the carburetor. This fuel line probably is going to have to be replaced, although it's still not cracking. So let's just brush it off, and I got some carburetor cleaner here. Throttle is not stuck, which is a good sign. Always stick a rag underneath because carburetor cleaner will take off paint. Primer, yeah, looks like it might still work. It's a little hard. I don't have any replacement primers for Tecumseh, unless I pull one out of a scrap carburetor. Well, now it looks like it's clean enough for me to work on. So the way I do this is I take it off, although this is a different style carburetor, and I can't get my socket in there. So usually I take this off, just take this part off, but because it's like this, I can't get my socket in here or a wrench in there or whatever. I'm gonna have to take it off here, and I don't like doing that. geez, Tecumseh. The bottom one you can only get off with a screwdriver because you can't get a socket in here. Well, that didn't work. I got my biggest screwdriver right here. You can see if I can get this to come out. There we go. Got it. Bad design. Don't break the gasket. And I did. I might have one around. Yeah, that's the other reason why I don't like taking them off this way. Anyway, here you go. Remember, spring goes on the bottom. This one goes on the top. Top. Bottom. Now we got it off. Time to clean this puppy out, or see what it looks like. So it's a 1/2 inch bolt in the bottom. 1/2 inch. Let's see. Yeah, this isn't looking good. Although the needle isn't stuck. So this probably means it's been sitting for a while. I might be able to save it. Let's see. You know, tubes, just notice this, that I may not be able to save this carburetor. There is, let's see, something to point with. In here, right, you see, right here, there's supposed to be a little jet. It's missing. So someone's been into this carburetor. I might have a carburetor that came off a Tecumseh that's similar to this. So I may just take it off, this off, and then stick that one on. I don't know if y'all can see this. Let me see if I can get it closer. Yeah, it might be better. I'm in my garage. I don't have the best lighting. But basically what I have done is I've did a carburetor swap. I took this off of a scrap mower. It was a Tecumseh, different model, but yeah, I don't have another gasket for this, so I'm going to, where'd I put, there it is. I'm going to try to put some gasket maker here to kind of join the two gasket pieces. It may or may not work, whatever. But and I don't forgot where this linkage goes, so I may not have got that one correct, but I think I did. This carburetor came off of a different model Tecumseh. It was on a Toro, I believe, and also on this one I had rebuilt it, put a new seat in it, but I put a Briggs seat in it and it still worked. So let's see. The other original carburetor to this, oh well, the insides might be okay. It's missing this idle speed jet, which I got. This carburetor probably will never work. I do have the jet for this out of one of these little carburetors, but it's really dirty. So I'd rather just go put this new one on, see if it will work. If not, I'll come back to this one and try to take parts from this one, the one over there, and put it on here and make it work. Fun, fun, fun. Put some gasket maker on, just a little bit, and I'll see how it goes. It's basically known as red RTV. I've used it to make a slump gasket for a Briggs. It's high temperature. Now I gotta make this tight. Yeah. Gonna take a 7/8 and basically give it a little more torque. See if I can. Bad design. Can't get in here to do that. As tight as I can get it. Now, you see, I got putting this linkage back on. Hopefully, I don't have to take the carburetor off to do it. Sorry if I make some screaming and noises. Let's see. Tecumseh. This is why I don't like Tecumsehs anymore. Hello tubes, I got this back together. Took the carburetor from another Toro, for another mower. Found some bolts for these. I don't know if these will work, but this is what I had. And I took the air filter adapter off the old carburetor, stuck on this one because the other one was for the different kind of Tecumseh air filters, the box. and the breather types are different. So I don't know, I may just take that off, but I just shot some carburetor cleaner into the cylinder. Let's see if this kicks over. I'm wearing eye protection in case something blows up. See if I can get my stand.
Rolling.
That's promising. I just threw some carburetor cleaner down the spark plug. Now let me go put some gas in. I don't have much power left in my camera, but I did get this to run. It took a little while, but I got it to run. When my battery charges back up, I'll do more. But here we go. So, not bad for, I think, for what it was. I'll catch you later.